Final Fantasy XIII was one of those games that didn't really get a whole lot of love in the main line entries of the Final Fantasy series, mostly due to how linear the game was and the fact that things like explorations and world maps were completely out the window. But we're not talking about any of that today until we get big enough to do Let's Plays. But today what we're talking about are the 4 versions of Final Fantasy XIII. And no, I'm not talking about FF13-2 or Lightning Returns. Starting with, of course, Final Fantasy XIII. This is the white label one, the one that has the white page with the Final Fantasy logo in the middle. This has been the case since basically FF1, with only few diversions along the way, including Lightning Returns, which is all just a black front with Lightning's face on it. But that's not really a mainline entry. This is the main game you would get if you were looking for Final Fantasy XIII. This is just the traditional PS3 case, and although it's early on, it does not say PlayStation on the top. We'll tell you about that later. It just has the BR disc right there. This one has the standard art, as we said, that basically every mainline Final Fantasy, they have the priority of the front art is white with the traditional logo in the middle. They've only deviated a couple times in the past. For example, FF7 was super over on to the right third, and FF3 and 4 and 5 have a little bit of stylistic kind of pieces of art on there, but for the most part they're just basically white. And on the back, which shares with one of our other versions, you'll see that this one has a lot of the information there. Now, as we'll tell you later, these all have different barcodes as well. They're discoverable on the Square Enix website. These are all separate games. They are all the exact same game, but they are all different discoverable, purchasable products. And on the inside, you'll have the manual, and of course, some of them will have the download codes for additional things, but it doesn't really matter. Some of them also have point card codes, but at this point, their games are so old, they're not really going to be of any use. And you'll see that there is art on the other side of the game case as well, on the inner jacket. Some people flip it around, they take the art out like that, and then they put it on the outside, but I just mostly like having the bind. Because it's not an actual dual art piece of insert where the bind is separate, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to flip it open, but this is the base model FF13. Next one on the docket is the Ultimate Hits, aka the greatest hits. Now, in Japan, they call it the Ultimate Hits. You'll notice by the silver strip on the side that says Ultimate Hits, and Ultimate Hits are more often than not, 98% of the time, bordered with the original art in black. So if you've ever been around North American games, you'll know them as the greatest hits. Not every game gets Ultimate Hits. Only games that were high in sales, prolific in nature, and overwhelming popularity. This one was, I mean, FF13 is visually incredible. If you look at other games around that era of when this game was out, I mean, it's incomparable. It's just crazy the way this game looked so early on in the world of PS3. But the wild, active, high-paced battle system was kind of cool. I much enjoyed it. Go ahead and scan this code if you can. It's so old by now, it doesn't really matter too much, but this is much the same as the original FF13, except if you'll notice, on the inside, take the disc and put it over here, you do not get that inner art. It's non-reversible, it's not even there. They completely omitted it from this one and this one only. The other 2 versions on PS3 full game had the inner art of Lightning. This one doesn't have it, but that's the only difference between the Greatest Hits edition and the normal edition. The third version, which is a lesser known version and one that I honestly don't even come across all that much. This is the alternate art version. This one does make a departure away from the traditional FF white front with the logo in the middle. It has more of a metallic feel to every part of it. I like the alt art version. It's not good in line with the rest of the games because it doesn't look like the rest of the games. This one is completely stylistically different. They get rid of the logo, they put it over here, and she's dead center mass, basically. She's the focus of the entire thing. Now, this whole thing, as we said, has a metallic finish on everything. Everything is super shiny, super reflective, and that holds true to the back as well. Now, there is something really cool about this one, is that the disc is different too. You get a pink lightning portrait on the disc. And as we said, instead of the greatest hits having a blank, this one does also have lightning in the back art. Pretty much that is the only difference. You get little cards in here for Final Fantasy Online. Again, scan that. I don't use it, whatever. But other than the advertisement sheets, the game is identical in every way, but it is very nice to have a different game and a different approach and different art on the different pieces of media that you get with this one. And yes, it's a different model number than the other ones, different barcode, the whole nine. This is one of the units that I didn't really ever focus on. I've seen in passing, didn't bear it too much mind, but this next one is the best. I haven't even seen it till recently, which is why I'm even doing this video. I've heard murmurings about this one, but here it is. This is the official Sony PlayStation 3 Jewel Case FF13 Trial Edition. Yes, this is the trial version, aka a demo disc, but it is official, and man does it look good. This is incredibly rare. It does have the trial demo disc version on there, and you'll see that this logo, this PlayStation 3 logo, kind of shows you maybe what case they were planning on putting it in, and I'll explain. PS3 games, 99% of the time, aside from special box editions and those big cardboard editions that come with figures and stuff, only come in essentially two cases. This one is the PlayStation 3 case. You'll see right there, it has the actual logo of PlayStation 3 with Blu-ray on the top left corner. They got rid of that early on and went with the top right corner Blu-ray disc with no PS3 on the top. And you'll see that PlayStation 3 logo is on the old games on the actual art, which is the exact same as where the trial edition art was going towards. So I kind of find that maybe they were going with this case instead of the ones that they ended up going with. Now, aside from that, they do have a manual as well. And as you would expect, yes, it is wildly different than the other manuals. This one is not the traditional full-blown manual. There's only a couple pages. I think, what is that, 11 pages total? Just gives you little snippets of what you are going to face in the battle that they have provided you, and some light controls that aren't even accurate to the depiction of the real game itself, because again, this is a trial and it has changed since then. But this is just one of those absolute rarities that you do not come across all the time. They have various different versions they've done over the past years, like the demo disc inside Brave Fencer Musashi and the demo disc inside, of course, Tobal number 1. And as some very nice European people have told us, that FF7 in some regions came with FF8 as a demo disc, but this one stands as honestly one of the coolest PS3 pieces I've gotten in the Final Fantasy world. And no, there was never meant to be any art on the back or the spine, and I don't believe this jewel case ever made it to any sort of mainstream production full game to any large-scale capacity. It was basically reserved just for this one. Yes, we all know they have Final Fantasy 13-2, which is a continuation of 13 when you play as Sarah and you have monsters on your team. And of course 13-3, which is Lightning Returns, you just play as Lightning and yada yada yada. But these are the actual same game with different barcodes and different discoverability and different releases as they were being released throughout Japan. I understand that there are different FF13 versions on PC and Xbox and stuff like that, but these are the ones that were officially released on Sony platforms that do not include 13.2 or 13.3.